Welcome to Chapter 12, Improving Your Personal Fitness. I think we can all agree upon the fact that physical activity is really an essential component to good health and longevity. So let's talk a little bit about what it looks like to establish good exercise habits and how to incorporate this into your daily life. Physical activity refers to all body movements produced by the skeletal muscles that result in substantial increase in energy expenditure. It's sad that recent studies indicate that 25.9% of American adults report no leisure activities whatsoever. And we know that physical activity reduces the likelihood of coronary artery disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and many other chronic illnesses. Exercise is planned, structured, and repetitive body movements done to improve or maintain components of physical fitness. And it's widely recognized that physical activity benefits your overall health. Physical inactivity is defined as not meeting the minimum activity recommendations for your health. And it's also responsible for a large number of diseases, as seen here, 30% of cases of heart disease, 27% of cases of type 2 diabetes, and so on. Take a minute to look at this table of physical activity guidelines for Americans. And look at the key guidelines for health under adults. It states at minimum 150 minutes per week of moderate intensity physical activity to maintain health. So let's really kind of etch this out here. 150 minutes per week, that's about 21 minutes per day. You've got 1,440 minutes in a day. I think you can find 20 minutes for exercise. 150 minutes out of your entire week. You've got 10,080 minutes in a week. Utilize 150 of them for your wellness. Get physical. Regular exercise makes the cardiovascular and respiratory systems much more efficient, and it can reduce hypertension, which is a significant factor for other coronary heart diseases and stroke. And it can also improve the blood lipid profile. Regular physical activity reduces the risk of metabolic syndrome, which is a combination of risk factors that produce a synergistic increase for heart disease and diabetes. It reduces our chances for cancer. So cancer epidemiologists believe that 25 to 37% of cancers are preventable through our lifestyle, and a healthier lifestyle can help reduce those chances. So we also see improved bone mass and reduced risk of osteoporosis, improved weight management, improved immunity. Psychological benefits include feeling better about oneself and our overall sense of well-being. Exercise can improve our physical appearance, which also increases our self-esteem. And it improves cognitive functions across the lifespan. What it boils down to is physical activity, as a result of several studies, indicates significant decrease in long-term health risks and increases in years lived, particularly among those who have several risk factors and use physical activity as a means of risk reduction. Our graphic here demonstrates different parts of the body and the effects of regular exercise, the benefits. So in our brain, we reduce stress and improve mood, decrease risk of depression and anxiety, improved concentration. It increases the oxygen and nutrients to the brain, and it improves cognitive function. Our lungs are affected, improves respiratory capacity. In women, there's a decreased risk of breast cancer. Significant benefits for our heart, decreases risk of heart disease, strengthens the heart, increases volume of blood pumped to the body. pretty important, and so on. So there are some pretty strong benefits to regular exercise. You guys, it's 21 minutes a day at minimum just to reap some of the rewards. So here's a quick graph of calories burned by different activities per 30 minutes. And so anything from spinning to walking, and there's 2 different walkings, it all burns calories. So walking a little bit faster, you're going to burn more calories. So being mindful of what you're doing and how you're implementing activity and movement is so important to get out there and just move in any way you can. Physical fitness refers to a set of attributes that are either health or skill related. The health related attributes of physical fitness allow you to perform moderate to vigorous intensity physical activity on a regular basis. Cardiorespiratory fitness refers to the ability of the heart, lungs, and blood vessels to function efficiently. The word aerobic means with oxygen and describes any type of exercise that requires oxygen to make energy for prolonged activity. Cardiorespiratory fitness is measured by determining aerobic capacity, the power, or the volume of oxygen the muscles consume during exercise. Maximal aerobic power is defined as the volume of oxygen that the muscles consume per minute of exercise, of maximal exercise. The VO2 max, the capacity, is commonly tested by a walk or run test on a treadmill. Muscular strength refers to the amount of force a muscle group or group of muscles can generate in one contraction. The most common way to assess muscular strength is to measure the maximum amount of weight you can move at one time in one repetition maximum. Muscular endurance is the ability of a muscle group, of a muscle or group of muscles to exert force repeatedly without fatigue, or the ability to sustain muscular contraction. So this gets into your sets and reps, right? So the more repetitions you can perform successfully, or the longer you can hold a certain position, the greater your muscular endurance. Flexibility refers to the range of motion or the amount of movement possible at a particular joint or series of joints. The greater the range of motion, the greater the flexibility. Our body composition describes the relative proportions and distributions of fat and fat-free tissues in the body. So here's a quick summary of the health-related components of physical fitness. So our cardiorespiratory fitness, it's our ability to sustain aerobic whole body activity for a prolonged period of time while swimming. Muscular strength, it's our maximum force able to be exerted by one single contraction of a muscle or muscle group. Weight training. Muscular endurance, it's our ability to perform muscle contractions repeatedly without fatigue. So playing in a game of tennis, for example. Flexibility is our ability to move joints freely through their full range of motion. Yoga is wonderful for that. And then our body composition is the relative proportions of fat mass and fat-free mass in the body. The skill-related components are attributes that improve one's ability to perform athletic tasks. They help exercisers increase their fitness level and their ability to perform daily tasks. The skill-related components of physical fitness are agility, balance, coordination, power, speed, and reaction time. Some skill-related fitness components, such as balance and coordination, for older adults can impact health. So what if you have been inactive for a while? How do you get started? Well, consider a personal trainer. Consider asking a friend who you know engages in physical fitness. There's no shame in this game, right? We all have to start somewhere. The initial part of your program, it's known as the initial conditioning stage, and you begin at levels lower than those recommended for you because you want to build upon this. These muscles that we're using that haven't been used in a long time, they're delicate and we could run a risk of injury. So starting slow so that you can sustain these new physical fitness activities you're starting to bring in. And People have real and perceived barriers that prevent regular physical activity. They might even be personal or environmental. So we really need to be mindful about incorporating physical activity into daily life. And when designing your fitness program, there's several factors to consider. Be mindful of your own preferences. Choose activities that are personally appropriate, convenient, and enjoyable. Be mindful of your current fitness level. Start slow. Plan enjoyable activities and progress to more strenuous or vigorous activities. Be mindful of opportunities to increase your activity levels. And green your routine, right? Make it yours. The more we become attached to these activities and what we're doing, and the more that they really mean something to us personally, we become more mindful of it. We create this emotional attachment to it. We're going to be more likely to continue it. It's going to be more sustainable. If somebody told me, let's go play tennis 5 days a week, I don't want to do that. I don't want to play tennis. But if somebody said, hey, let's go out walking or jogging 5 days a week, I might be more apt to do that. Do what feels good for you. Let's take a look at overcoming some obstacles. And a lot of the things that I hear from people, and that I've maybe even used myself, are lack of time, right? Look at your schedule. What did I say? 21 minutes per day. Where can you fit in 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening? Break it down into smaller chunks if you need to. Select activities that require less time. Maybe a quick walk or a quick jog. Maybe it's taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Maybe it's parking your car further away from the store that you're going into or from school. You're getting some extra walk time. How can those things add up? It doesn't have to be all in one chunk. I like multitasking too. It's otherwise known as habit stacking. So reading while riding an exercise bike or listening to podcasts and walking. Social influence can be an obstacle. People are going to say, well, man, why are you doing that? Come hang out with me. That would be more fun. Well, let's start incorporating the people that want to go and have fun in other directions into what we're doing, right? Let's create some balance with this. Plan for physically active dates, or go for a walk, dancing or bowling. Well, maybe not right now, but hopefully in the future. There's also lack of motivation, willpower, or energy. We need to give ourselves some incentives, right? That's the rewards on our behavior contracts. Remind yourself that exercise does give you more energy, right? It's going to take some energy, but you're going to get much more than you put in often. It's going to be longer lasting, right? Our energy is going to go for a longer time. And then people will talk about lack of resources. So select an activity that requires minimal equipment, such as walking, jogging, jumping rope, calisthenics. Calisthenics that's using our own body. So identify inexpensive resources on campus or in the community. Take advantage of no-cost opportunities, playing catch in the park or green space on campus. And so for me, I often have to trick myself into exercise and being active, but you can do it, and you can overcome these these obstacles to physical activity. And look what's making a comeback. It's our SMART goals: specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-oriented. So identify your physical fitness goals and put them into that SMART format for what works for you. The FITT principles should be used to define your exercise program. Frequency is the number of times per week you need to engage in a particular exercise to achieve the desired level of fitness in a particular component. And intensity refers to how hard your workout must be to achieve desired levels of physical fitness. Time refers to how many minutes or repetitions of an exercise are required at a specific intensity during any one session to attain the desired level of physical fitness. And type refers to what kind of exercises should be performed to improve the specific component of physical fitness. FITT. So we're going to apply the FITT principle to cardiorespiratory, muscular strength and endurance, and flexibility. So the FITT principle includes, for cardiorespiratory fitness, the FITT principle includes 3 to 5 days a week of vigorous, rhythmic, continuous activity at 64 to 90% 96% of maximum heart rate, at least 20 minutes. The most effective aerobic exercises for building cardiorespiratory fitness are whole body activities. The FITT principle for muscular strength and endurance. The FITT prescription there includes 2 to 3 days per week of exercises that train major muscle groups at an intensity of 60 to 80% per rep. So your time, it's going to be 8 to 10 exercises, 2 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Okay. And flexibility, inflexible muscles are susceptible to injury. And improved flexibility means less tension on pressure and on joints. And that results in less joint pain and joint deterioration. So the frequency is a minimally 2 to 3 days per week. Intensity to the point of mild tension. You don't want to push through. You just want to kind of give that nice little stretch. When you give that, when you feel that tension, right? That's what you want to feel. You want to give those muscles a nice good stretch to increase that flexibility. And then you want to do 10 to 30 seconds per stretch, in 2 to 3 reps of that. And so types of that are stretching, dance, yoga, and those exercise the major muscle groups. Here's a quick graph of methods for improving or providing muscular resistance. So calisthenics is our own body resistance. Uses your own body weight to develop muscular strength and endurance. There's fixed resistance, using weights, free weights, barbells, dumbbells, and then variable resistance. That's using those weight machines in the gyms and in homes. These are great basic stretching exercises that really improve flexibility and should be implemented prior to any fitness program. Because you want to warm up your muscles, you want to get everything ready to engage and activate. So keep this on hand. And you can also help this, use this after a workout too, to release some of that, the lactic acid that builds up. So when we're implementing a fitness plan program, we want to really develop a progressive plan. And experts recommend that you begin an exercise program by gradually increasing the frequency or time of your workouts as you increase the intensity gradually. Find exercises to reduce, a variety of exercises to reduce the risk of overuse injuries. If you're overusing one muscle all the time, that could be detrimental. And then reevaluate your fitness goals monthly. What's working and what's not? What do you need to switch up? Some forms of activity can improve several components of physical fitness and improve everyday functioning. The body's core muscles are the foundation for all movements, and a weak core can result in poor posture, lower back pain, and muscle injuries. You can develop core strength by doing various exercises, including calisthenics, yoga, or Pilates. And yoga blends the mental and physical aspects of exercise. When done regularly, it can improve flexibility, vitality, posture, agility, balance, and so on. Tai Chi is an ancient Chinese form of exercise that combines stretching, balance, muscular endurance, coordination, and meditation. It increases range of motion and flexibility while reducing muscle tension. And Pilates is an exercise style that combines stretching with movement against resistance, frequently aided by devices such as tension springs or heavy rubber bands. It teaches body awareness, good posture, and easy, graceful body movements while improving flexibility, coordination, core strength, and muscle tone. Use the important people in your social network as a support system. Let them know your goals and how they can assist you. Evaluate your inner circle for support and enlist other people through social media. Keep in mind that your needs vary depending on your specific situation, and this is about you and your health journey. There are two types of basic injuries that stem from fitness-related activities. And the first one is traumatic, and it typically occurs suddenly, and it's typically an accident, right? It includes broken bones, torn ligaments and muscles, contusions, lacerations. Overuse injuries can occur because of cumulative day after day stresses placed on body parts during exercise. So it's leg day, leg day, leg day, leg day. You're overusing that part of your body. The three most common overuse injuries are runner's knee, shin splints, and plantar fasciitis. Rest, variation, and of routine and stretching are the first lines of treatment for overuse injuries. There are steps that you can take to reduce your risk of overuse or traumatic injuries. Use common sense and appropriate gear. Vary your physical activities throughout the week. Set appropriate goals. And listen to your body. Really be mindful when you're engaging in physical activity. Utilize appropriate footwear or protective equipment. When you exercise in the heat, it can result in heat cramps, heat exhaustion, heat stroke. It's more difficult to listen to really what your body is saying to you. And exercising in the cold can potentially result in hypothermia. So when we treat injuries, our first aid treatment for virtually all fitness-related injuries involves rice, not the kind we eat, but rest, ice, compression, and elevation. So be mindful when you step into fitness. Listen to your body. It's good to push yourself, but listen. Is it a push, or is it a gentle push, or is it you pushing way too hard and you can result in injury? Because we want wellness more than anything. So here's to your health. Take care of you and get that 20 minutes a day in. Be well.